So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Crosscut. And I think I mentioned this a long time ago. I said I was never going to review this figure because he broke in half. I'm not lying, this figure did break in half. Many, many years ago. Sorry if you're hearing the noise outside. I have no clue what that is. Not a clue. But anyway, this figure broke in half to get it out of the way, and he still does come in half. See, there's a pin. The mushroom peg broke. And I put a pin in it. I got my dad to put a pin in it. It's actually like a drill bit. And he still functions perfectly well and good. He transforms, everything like that. He just has a really loose waist swivel now that occasionally falls out. Other than that, this figure's tolerances were terrible to begin with, because you're probably noticing. Yeah, he's floppy anyway. Like, really floppy. I need to put some glue in there. Don't worry. He just lives in a box anyway, so it shouldn't be that big as long as I don't shake him during the review. It shouldn't come out. It should not come out. Other than that, though, this figure was pretty good at the time, and he's a repaint of Generation Skids, a figure I never got, because I never seen him as a kid, so I never got him. But in result of that, I got Crosscut here, who's actually getting a new Legacy Evo figure in Wave 2, so that's cool, if you care. I mean, as far as he goes, pretty alright. I do like the gray and the red. The red is all metallic, which is nice. Every bit of red on the figure is metallic. And the guns, we've seen the gun before. I actually stole it from its new owners, which are the Battle Trap duo. He can't stand. I'm not joking. He cannot do it. He has no heels. The gun splits into two. We've seen this before. If you've watched that review, you might not have, though. But if you haven't, I'd recommend that review. Yeah, I can do self-promotion. Why not? And there's the guns. There they are. They just combine in the back. Whoop-de-dee-da-doo. Perfect for Battle Trap. As far as other guns go, this guy's full of them. He has this on each arm, so he has this kind of double under, or it splits in two around, which is a bit of a reference to Skid's kind of double-barreled arm gun he has. It comes with the Legacy one. Shoulder cannons, which can flip away if you don't like them. Just gotta kind of maneuver the backpack a little bit. You should be able to get them in. There we go. And he has missile pods on his shoulders, which, if you also don't like, you can just flip them away. Doesn't look nearly as good, but you can do it. I mean, I like that you can de-arm them a little bit, but not much. Also, I cannot find the switch for the guns back here for the life of me anymore. I think it's right there, but I can't flick it, so pulling on it shall do. And I mean, as far as this figure goes, though, he's alright other than the tolerances. He's been loose since I got him. He's just always been loose. These feet are always been loose. They've been loose on every single version of the figure ever. And then there's his ball-jointed arms, which have never not been loose because they're weird for the transformation. We'll get to it. But as far as it goes, looks nice. I like the red. I like the kind of silverish gray. But what about everything else? Well, articulation-wise, no outward, really. It's really funny. Like I said, we'll get to it. Forward and back. An elbow, which is a ball joint. A waist, which he would have had either way, because clearly he broke in half for a reason. Back, swivel, and a knee joint, and then he has a ball joint in the foot, so you can get whatever there. There's glue in there because I tried to make it tighter, and it kind of didn't work. So, yeah, this figure is a bit of a nightmare in the looseness department, and it's always has been for me. It's never been tight. Never in its life has it been tight. This figure has always been loose. Anyway, let's get into the transformation, which is probably not going to be too fun because he's broken in half. We will do our best. I know he can transform. I've done it multiple times since he's been broken. I know he can. First thing I'm going to do is come to the chest and kind of move it out of the way. Take his head, flip it in like so. Also, you can see where the drill bit goes through, and that is glue. Any of that weird-looking kind of grayish stuff, that's glue. It had to be glued to make it tight, because otherwise it was really loose, and well, the glue still holds a little bit, but not much. And then have the doors here, fold them in, fold down the windshield, fold the feet in, like so. Come to the waist, rotate it around, so the waist is viable, and that is how it broke. The mushroom peg does still exist within that confines as well. Now, you're probably saying, oh, you bend the knees. No, you don't bend the knees. There's this other really bad hinge, which has a massive stress mark on it. As you can see, massive stress mark right there. And I do mean massive. It is a big stress mark. And it's been like that since the beginning of time. Once again. And once again, you're seeing kind of how bad this transformation is when the figure is super loose and also broken in half. But I know I've said he's broken in half a bajillion times, but I'm not wrong. He is broken in half for some reason. He broke in half while I was transforming him. Not like I was playing with him too harshly. No, he literally broke in half because I transformed him. Like a step of the figure. And I gotta try to get everything to line up properly. The arms pegged down here into the chest. I still gotta try. Oh no, he just isn't working, is he? Kind of is. Wait. There we go. Door's in place. Arm is not in place though. The arm unpegged itself. And get the feet in place right there. And there you go. There is Skid's alt mode after a lot, or Skid's crosscuts alt form after a lot of futzing, because he's broken. And it still forms pretty much what the alt mode would look like. Yep, that's about right. It's a nice enough alt form. Bit gappy in the back, as you can tell, but hey, it's gonna happen. Like I said, best I could do with him. As far as the alt mode goes, it does look nice, though. It's a nice little sports car. I like it a lot. It's a nice little hatchback sports car. And I mean, it is decent, you know? It's nice. It does have the weapon storage back here, kind of. Get it on. There we go. Pretty nice. You know, I like the blue. It's nice. It's a nice alt blue. Not much more to say about it, really. Painted the tail lights and the headlights. Nice. And the rims. Why can't we get this much paint anymore? That's another thing I guess I could say. I don't get that much paint. Also the paint the windshield wipers. God, like what? They went all out for paint. I'll give them that. I'll give them that on it. Other than that, though, that's really just the alt form. Overall thoughts on this figure. He's alright. He was alright, and then he broke in half one day. But I am gonna complain. The tolerances on this figure are awful. Not even just that the waist broke because it was too tight. The fact that the arms are loose, and I didn't even really point out the step. They push in and out. That's why these are so loose. They are push in and out joints. But they're ball jointed. So it looks really weird. And also, judging by how easy it is to transform them back, you would think, oh, that was a really easy transformation. That took me like a few minutes to do, just to get everything lined up. Transforming them back is super easy compared to getting them where you're supposed to go. Like, this figure isn't the worst thing ever, but man, it's not good. At least my version. And I'm not even rating this on the fact he's broken in half, even though I mentioned it a lot. It's mostly due to how bad the arms are. They're super loose. The feet are terrible. He can barely stand half the time. He looks nice, but the arms are always on this weird angle because they flop. So he's always standing there like that, and then he falls over. He's like a 2. He's like a 2.5. I can't give him anything higher than a 2.5. I don't want to give him any lower because I actually like the car mode. I like the look of the robot. It's just he has overarching actual issues that make him not that good. That is the first time I'm not like, oh, this thing sucks. No, this thing just has bad issues that makes him bad. Is it that he's old? Maybe. But he's always been like this, and I know he has, because that stress mark has always been there. These feet have always been loose. And then he just cracked in half one day. It's just a fine enough figure. If you ever seen him, sure, get him. Don't pay a ton for him. Or skids. Same thing. One's just blue with a different head. He's good. He's fine. 2.5 out of 5. This has been Eilt Elite. This has been my review of Crosscut. Peace.